Your kid is in their room. 5 minutes ago, Minecraft City. Now, full emotional collapse over a sock. That's not a meltdown. That's a safety check. You think they're overreacting. They're checking if you're safe to come back to. And most parents miss it completely because kids don't ask, "Do you love me?" They ask, "Are you stable today?" 6 things that decide whether your kid feels safe, including one most calm parents get wrong, that decide whether your child runs to you or learns you're not where they go with real things. 1. The gap between safe and felt safe. Nothing's wrong, but something feels off. They're quieter than they should be, watching more than talking. Most parents are providing a physically safe home. No one's hitting, there's food, the lights stay on, and the kid is still watchful. Slightly tense, shutting down in situations that should feel ordinary. It has nothing to do with your effort level. Safety and felt safety are 2 different things. One exists, the other gets approved or denied. Their body only works with the second one. Dr. Stephen Porges spent decades mapping how the brain reads social environments. He found that the body continuously scans for safety or danger through an automatic process. And their brain isn't even involved yet. The body already hit, "No thanks," and closed the app. Before logic even shows up, it's already decided whether this feels safe. So a home can clear every visible checkpoint and still fail to deliver what a child's body is actually waiting for. The felt sense that danger isn't coming from this direction. That gap between the safety you've built and the safety they can register is where most of what goes quiet in kids goes quiet. The "I'm fine" that arrives too fast. The bedroom door that stays shut. The question their body is always running isn't, "Does my parents love me?" That one's usually settled. The one still in play is this someone I can borrow calm from? Not, "Do they love me?" That's already assumed. Kids are like, yeah, love, whatever. Are you stable today? Light question. Huge consequences. Most parents have no idea that's even the question. And once a child's body starts answering, maybe, everything you do after that gets filtered through it. 2. You are the environment. Which means your child isn't reacting to what you say. They're reacting to what you are. Here's the part most parents don't expect. Your body isn't just near your child's. It's the environment they're living inside. Research in co-regulation has found that their body literally syncs with yours in real time. A 2024 systematic review found that co-regulation during emotionally difficult moments is one of the strongest predictors of a child's long-term ability to self-regulate. Their system is basically syncing to yours. Hope your signal isn't chaos. You think they're reacting to what you said. They're reacting to what you felt while you said it, which means when you're calm, they borrow that calm. When you're carrying stress on the inside and performing calm on the outside, they file it. Something is wrong here. You don't have to be shouting. The tight jaw. Nothing says, "I'm calm," like a jaw clenched hard enough to crack almonds. The way you put a mug down with more force than necessary. The one that says, "Good vibes only." That mug didn't deserve that. It had bad dreams. None of them included this. Their body reads those signals before you even decide what to do. You think you're subtle. You're not subtle. You're just quieter and slightly more intimidating. This is not a guilt trip. This is just how 2 bodies work in the same room, but it does mean something uncomfortable. You can be saying all the right things and still feel unsafe to them. The most powerful thing you can do for your child's felt safety has almost nothing to do with what you say to them. It's the state of your own body while you're saying it. The words follow. The body leads. That's 2. And most parents are already in trouble. 3. Predictability is the architecture. This is where most parents completely misread what's happening and accidentally make it worse. Warmth doesn't build safety. Unpredictable warmth destroys it. Unpredictable warmth is like a slot machine. Sometimes love, sometimes chaos. Very exciting, very damaging. 0 out of 10 parenting strategy. Terrible reviews, unless you're raising adrenaline addicts. What actually builds safety is predictability, and inconsistency is what quietly breaks it. Kids are always running a background experiment, continuously, without being aware of it. The experiment is, when I need something, what happens? Across hundreds of repetitions, their body builds a pattern for what relationships do. When children experience consistent, reliable responses to their signals, they build an internal framework that says, needs can be met, people are reliable, I don't have to stay on alert. It literally shapes how their brain wires itself. Kids don't get anxious randomly. They get consistent based on you. This is where a lot of genuinely loving homes quietly miss the mark. The warmth is real, but the emotional temperature shifts. Work stress, relationship stress, money stress, and the child's body logs stay alert. The teenager who erupts most on the days you're already stretched isn't being provocative. They're not dramatic. They're data-driven. Unfortunately, the data is you, and the trend line isn't great. And they noticed before you did. Predictability doesn't mean never having a hard day. It means the overall emotional climate makes sense. A child who can make sense of the household, who knows what the baseline feels like, what it means when you go quiet, and that difficult nights do end, has something their brain genuinely needs. A room it doesn't have to stay on guard in. A home that feels safe to a child often looks completely unremarkable from the outside. Ordinary evenings, consistent routines, a parent who's grumpy sometimes but recognizably themselves. Predictable, safe. 4. The window opens when you're not talking. Most parents assume the work of emotional safety happens in conversations, the check-ins, the "you can always come to me." Kids love ignoring it, professionally and consistently. They've had years of practice, Olympic level. That speech has never once beaten your facial expression. What they're watching is everything else. The moment you walk through the door and the energy in the house shifts, whether it lightens or gets heavier, they've logged it before you've said a word. How quickly you come back after a disagreement. Whether the adult in the house is a source of legibility or a source of uncertainty they're permanently trying to decode. You thought nothing happened. They logged 12 data points and updated your rating. Dr. Dan Siegel describes felt safety as something more primal than the knowledge you're safe. It's a state the body either registers or doesn't, built from thousands of small, unremarkable moments rather than one correct conversation. A 15-year-old who stopped sharing things has made a quiet calculation. The relationship is worth protecting. And honesty costs something here. They don't lie, they just release the PG version. The real story stays with whoever passed the test. The window for the actual version opens in the moments that don't announce themselves as important. Whether you looked up, whether you stayed when things got uncomfortable, whether you asked a second time after they said never mind. You cannot talk a kid into feeling safe with you because safety isn't something they believe. It's something they detect. And this is where most homes quietly lose it. 5. Repair is the real signal. Good news, you don't have to be perfect. Bad news, you do have to come back. You can't just exit the chat after the argument, unfortunately. Attachment research has found something that should genuinely relieve some pressure. Caregivers don't need to be perfectly attuned for a child to develop secure attachment. Studies suggest attunement only needs to happen about a third of the time. because the repair does the heavy lifting. This is worth sitting with. Felt safety is built by coming back reliably after things go wrong. The coming back is the work, not the calm, the return. When you lose your temper and then return with a clear acknowledgement and no reversal of blame, your child's body records something specific. This relationship can survive big feelings. What goes wrong here doesn't stay wrong. The repair doesn't require a performance. I got overwhelmed and handled that badly. I'm sorry. Not, I'm sorry, but you. That's a remix nobody asked for. Because the rupture followed by repair teaches something calm moments can't. Kids don't stop feeling unsafe when you calm down. They stop feeling unsafe when your calm becomes predictable. Every time you come back, imperfectly, on an ordinary evening, someone came back, and their body keeps score of that. 6. The home they'll carry. And this last one is the one that sticks. None of this looks impressive while it's happening. It hides in ordinary days. The way your voice sounds when you're tired. Whether you looked up when they walked in. Whether you came back after things went sideways. It doesn't feel like parenting. It feels like Tuesday, which is deeply underwhelming and exactly the point. No awards, no applause, just less emotional chaos. Iconic in the least impressive way possible. But this is where everything is decided. They're not listening to what you say this relationship is. They're learning what it does under pressure, what it can hold, what it costs to be honest here. Parents think kids leave suddenly. Kids think this was a long time coming. Quietly. It started years earlier in small moments where they learned what I bring here gets handled. I don't have to edit myself to stay connected. This person can handle the truth. A child who feels safe isn't asking, will I get in trouble? They're asking, will I still belong? That's what you're building. Not obedience, not openness on command, a relationship where they don't have to manage you while managing their own life. This isn't built in big moments. It's built in the ones you thought didn't count. The door they leave open as they grow up is the one you kept walking back through, even when you got it wrong, even when it cost you something to come back. That's the home they carry forward. Not the perfect one, the one that kept showing up. If this landed, watch why teens stop trusting their parents. It's what happens when this stops working. Same relationship, just later in the story. You're probably using at least one of them without noticing.